Earlier this summer, Vivek Ramaswamy was often referred to as the long-shot presidential candidate. Now, many media outlets are writing about his, quote, surprising rise. Time magazine is even calling him the breakout candidate. And Republican voters seem to agree. According to an exclusive NewsNation Decision Desk poll just out today, 32% of Republicans said Ramaswamy was the best performer at last month's GOP debate. That's in first place. He is followed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Ramaswamy has been active on the campaign trail, often with his wife by his side. The spouses of these candidates are at times surrogates in winning over voters. They can also humanize the people running to be the leader of the free world. Dr. Apoorva Ramaswamy is accomplished in her own right. She is a surgeon who graduated from Yale Medical School. Yale is where she met her husband. She is also the mother of the couple's 2 young sons. And Dr. Ramaswamy joins us now. Good to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm curious, you said recently that you told your mom 1 month after meeting Vivek that, quote, I'm pretty sure he's going to change the world. Did you really say that? What did you mean? And what did you see?
I did. It was so early on, but even the first night I met him, he was just the most alive and energetic person, honestly, that I'd ever met. And that continues to be the case.
Vivek says his superpower is his willingness to push boundaries. What do you think his superpower is?
Oh, Vivek's superpower, I think it's his eternal optimism and his sense of grounding in principles. I've never met someone who is more, he loves evidence, but mostly he goes based on principles. What are the things that are really grounding us, and what do we do based on our knowledge of our principles? And that's really how he lives his life, and a lot of what his campaign is built upon.
He was wildly successful in business, but he has had 0 experience in public service. He didn't even vote in 2008, 2012, and 2016. So how did he go from not voting in 3 presidential elections to running for president?
I think something both of us realized after having our 2 sons is that even if you are not particularly interested in the government is interested in you. And based on the things that he has done, his time in the biotech industry, going up against the pharmaceutical establishment, and later going up against BlackRock at Strive, so much of the reasons for why things are not going well is because of the government's interaction with our day-to-day lives. And a lot of that is what he has then built into his campaign.
As we said at the top, our NewsNation poll out today does show that most Republican voters thought that Vivek won the debate, but polls also show that his negative numbers also rose after the debate, especially among women. Unfavorable or negative ratings were up by 25 points after the debate. Many women said they found Vivek arrogant and even obnoxious. Does that surprise you?
Well, that's what I love about the campaign process. And we actually just spent the weekend out in New Hampshire with overflowing events where people came to see Vivek in person. And a lot of what the debate did was create a lot of interest, because what people saw on the debate stage was Vivek the fighter, and he can do that. People came with a tax plan, and he can fight with the best of them. But what we're really in this for is his vision for our country, for the future generations and our children. And that really, without all the social media algorithms, without the questions, when he's actually giving his vision, it's really inspiring. And I know people, once they come to hear him, will have a true vision of what hope he really represents.
So you don't think he has a problem with women voters? Because so many of them, the polls show that he is having problems connecting with them. Many of them are put off. What is it that they don't know about him that you do? I want to give you the chance to soften him a bit if you want to do that.
Well, it's one data point. What I know of Vivek is that he is such a kind, generous parent, partner, We have built a life together, and he's made many sacrifices for my career, and he has been the most wonderful person to create a life with. And that kind of generosity does not get communicated on a debate stage, and it's one data point. But I hope that people will learn more about him. There's plenty of information out there. He's been extremely active on social media, and he is getting the message out, and hopefully people will learn more.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.